Well, hello. This has gone out of hand. It is nice out here. Everything's everywhere. It's nice. The dogs are loving it. I'm loving it. But winter, I didn't come out here a lot. Not as much as I should have. So we're gonna need to clean up. But it is kind of like Christmas. I forgot I had this package. Bought it for Black Friday. Can you guess what it is? I'm sure the title already told you, but we're gonna put together some Airpots. This is what we're kind of working with. So it's strange with these guys, right? So there's 25-gallon pots, but they're only like 10 inches high or something of that nature. But then there's the 7 gallons, which are like 20 inches high. So what we need to do is take the bottom of these 25 gallons and then use 2 or more of these 7 gallons that are like 18 inches high or whatnot. I forgot the inches, but you can see here at the top, those are for 7 gallons. These bottoms are for the 25. Look how much taller those are in comparison. So these are kind of interesting. They roll around the base and you have to have a little lip at the bottom. So it would go something like this all the way around. But one is not long enough to reach around, so we're going to have to figure out a way to use 2. 2 should work. So once you're looking at these, you can clearly see the difference. These are the ones on the outside, and what we're going to do is use zip ties to make these longer, as well as the included screws in the middle, and that'll hold them together. I want to make these tight enough to hold together, but I don't want to bend the plastic material or whatnot. And these are the included screws. These screw into these bits that are sticking out, and then it holds the 2 pieces together. These are in fact the bottom. There's no instructions, which is kind of weird, but from my understanding, you want it to stick out this way, I believe, with the rounded side towards the bottom and this bit sticking upwards. I'm just going to check the size, and we have contact. That's awesome. Check that out. Alright, so we have it in place. Zip ties at the bottom here, just like that. I used 2 of the screws and a zip tie at the bottom. And then this is the side that was put together prior. I put as many zip ties in here as possible. Zip ties are super cheap, and in my field I have so many of them. Why not use what I have? There are thick ones and there are smaller ones. I want to use the heavy duty grade zip ties. And honestly, this is pretty sturdy. I think we are golden. Look at that. My logic is for the bottom to be more like a cup versus it being the other way around. I believe this is right. These are so porous, but guess what? I got cardboard that came with it. I don't see any writing on here, no weird plastic tapes. This is pretty much completely usable and it'll break down. I just want to double check my work. I don't want to go through this, put the plan in there, and it doesn't make sense. To me, if this is pointing up, it'll be holding if it falls through or something. This little lady is what's getting moved over. I already got this a little bit figured out. It's going to be that Lapines cherry tree I just got. As you can see, I put a collection down there to collect any extra water. I know that these plants, like 9 is the highest zone for these. They like to stay moist and like having air, so this should really work. This is a morning sun area. More shaded than not. So let's get this out. Using a tarp, I want to make sure I save all my soil. But check this out. This is what good roots look like. Look, they're not going around in circles. I'm getting in here at the right time while it's asleep. But these roots are so healthy. This is what you want to see if you're used to getting things from garden centers and things like that, and they've been sitting there and they go around in circles, they're compacted. This is a happy tree. There's no reason this shouldn't work. Alright, check out baby girl. We're in here. If you've seen any of my videos, you know that I like to do things in a layered. I always think of things as food, so I think of lasagna. You have the root layer, and then you have what's above. So I'm going to put compost above this. I don't have anything that's going to decay inside here. I can see the roots slightly. So when I put the compost, worm castings, and then the mulch, it'll feed down into the container, right? A lot of people put things in with the roots and under the roots. Not only will that break down and kill, but run out of the container. And this is what I love this worm gold product. This is literally gold for your plants. If I could just feed with just this, I would. If you have things in ground, this is more than enough. In pots, you know, sometimes you have to add some things, but the soil, worm castings, compost, mulch. All right, so this is what we're looking like. We got that worm castings down. We have our container for the worms for direct composting. And then what we also want to do is add a layer of fertilizer. This is what I'm using. This is a super slow release fertilizer. So add a layer around the top, not directly on the roots, not directly against the bark. Now this is the next layer. This is compost and some bark. Literally like making some lasagna. This will break down over time. It's getting plenty of air. It's not going to kill the roots. Feed from the top to the bottom. And then we got it mulched. There's a couple layers. That's what we're looking like. The roots will grow out to these holes and get pruned as the air hits them. It will be free of circling. Cherries are really hard to grow in these desert areas, but I am confident that doing it this way will have success. Got everything whitewashed before we get leaves in. I am excited for spring. This is going to be a great year. I know it. Lapine Cherry. Like, share, subscribe. You got any questions? Let me know. Otherwise, let's grow.